Good day everyone, my name is Karl and I'm here to teach you how to factor an expression using factoring by grouping. In factoring by grouping, we group terms by two binomial or a monomial and a trinomial or a binomial and a trinomial group. But make sure that each group has anything in common, which is called the greatest common factor, or also known as the GCF. And also, factoring by grouping had a certain steps to follow. Step number 1. Create a smaller group within the expression. Step number 2. Factor out the GCF from each of the two groups. Step number 3. Write the expression as a product of the GCF and the remaining factor. For example, find the factors of 4x squared plus 20x minus 3xy minus 15y. By using the steps, the first thing we need to do is to create smaller groups within the expression. So, all you need to do is to look at the expression and think which of the terms we need to group. In this case, 4x squared and 20x have the same variable, which is x. So, we will group them together. And on the other hand, negative 3xy and negative 15y also have the same variable, which is y. Now that we created a smaller group within the expression, let's go to step 2. Factor out the GCF from each of the two groups. Think, what is the GCF of 4x squared and 20x? As what I've said a while ago, 4x squared and 20x have the same variable, which is x. And if you look closely, 4 and 20 are both divisible by 4. So, we can factor 4x times x plus 5. Now that we can simplify it and more, let's proceed to the other group, which is negative 3xy and negative 15y. The same as what we did in the first group, think, what is the GCF of negative 3xy and negative 15y? The same as what I've said, y is their common variable. And 3 and 15 are both divisible by 3. So, we can factor it out by 3y times x plus 5. But, don't forget, both of them are negative. So, our GCF also have a negative sign, so we can get negative 3y times x plus 5. Now that we get the GCF of the two groups, let's proceed to step 3. Write the expression as a product of the GCF and the remaining factor. So, if you remember what I've said earlier about making sure that each group had the same GCF, then we can proceed to step 3 without a problem. In this expression, both had the same GCF, which is x plus 5, and the remaining factor, which is 4x and negative 3y. So, all we need to do is to arrange it from GCF and the remaining factor. Now, we have our final answer, which is x plus 5 times 4x negative 3y. Now, in our first example, we only get the factor of 4 terms, or 2 binomial groups. What if we need to find a trinomial and in binomial group. How will you solve it? For example, 3x squared negative 4xy plus y squared minus 2x plus y. In this expression, we have 5 terms. It may look difficult, but I'll tell you this, it is not. Just the same as the previous example, let's follow the steps with factoring by grouping. In our problem, 3x squared minus 3xy plus y squared can be grouped together. I know some of you might ask me why I would group them together, even though the three of them don't have any common variable like the first example. The reason why I group them is because if you remember your previous years or lessons, 3x squared minus 4xy plus y squared can be factored using quadratic equation. So, let's create two parentheses. Think, what would be the factor of 3x squared? That would be 3x times x. Now, let's proceed. Think what we need to multiply to 3x and x. That, if added, will get negative 4xy and also had a product of y squared. If you have a proficient knowledge in algebra, you can easily answer it by negative y. Because 3x minus y times x minus y is equal to 3x squared minus 4xy plus y squared. Now that we had already grouped them and found the GCF of the first group, let's proceed to second group. If you look at them closely, negative 3x plus y can't be simplified anymore, but we need to make negative 3 plus y equal to 3x minus y, so that we can easily proceed to step 3. So all we need to do is to multiply negative 3x plus y by negative 1, so that it can equal to 3x minus y. Now that we're done, let's proceed to the last step. Write the expression as a product of the GCF and the remaining factor. So the GCF for the two groups is 3x minus y times x minus y minus 1. And that's how you factor an expression using factoring by grouping. I hope you learned and enjoyed the lesson. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.